ESP, what it is, and who has it, how do I develop it. One of the really interesting things about ESP is the amount of attention it's getting from the scientific community. So that's very interesting, and of course it really appeals to me, because for so long, you know, we've been caught in sort of the idea of, you know, black cats are bad luck and witches are this and all the rest of it, you know, that, you know, psychics are just fortune tellers and we're frauds. And so it's marvellous to see such a serious amount of study being given to ESP now. So one of the questions people come up with all the time is, what's the difference between psychic and extrasensory perception? And really, psychism is extrasensory perception. The difference in it is really at this point more like perception. You know, over time, psychics have kind of accumulated fortune telling sort of, whereas ESP is kind of considered, you know, worthy of scientific study. And really the language is the same. But I feel with ESP, it's more directional, there's more focus, there's more intention in what we're doing. So for example, extrasensory perception can start with having those intuitive senses, to precognition and telepathy and, you know, psychokinesis, moving things around. So there's a lot to that, which is very directional and intentional, as I said. When we start to look, we start to think about ESP, we're talking about clairvoyance, we're talking about telepathy, precognition, psychokinesis, all these marvelous things, even mediumship. And it's not necessarily just mediumship with the dearly departed. I mean, we've had a lot of these reports from the near-death experience people of actually meeting these powerful, compassionate, beautiful beings. Now, if we don't necessarily have to wait until we're dead to do that. When we start developing our extrasensory perception, we start to develop our awareness of our part of that consciousness, so that we may become aware of those, you know, powerful beings. Some people call them angels or guides or whatever you want to call them, who are moving into this, or in this space with us, and who we can rely on and who we can turn to, and we can be aware of that connection with them. Isn't it marvelous? And you just sort of know in your darkest, loneliest moment, you're not alone. Isn't that beautiful? Somebody there, you should do is ask, speak to them. So it's marvelous.